Okay, I'm going to go through the new self-serve product in a little bit more detail. Okay, I'm going to load the data. All right, now let's look at this use your own data. So you can use this choose file to open a local file, a CSV or an Excel, and this side. So you choose, like, for example, you have a trial balance, let's say over here, that you, let's say, received 2 weeks ago, and then an updated one that you received today, and you'd put it in the red box. Um, just to understand some of the colors, let's just talk about the colors actually. The red is the right side, and the blue is the left side, kind of like a political theme. In the back, we have these yellow bricks. Okay, that's because the buttons have yellow bricks behind them, so you know what to do next. So it's like follow the yellow brick button. A couple of other things here. You have the ability to maximize this little window, shrink it, close it, and of course move it around as you see I'm doing. All right, so now let's say you put into the blue box some trial balance from a few weeks ago. The red box, you put in a new one that you just received. And how do you put it in? You can copy and paste it. You can upload a CSV. You can upload an Excel. I use the word upload kind of by mistake. The text and the data never go to a server. They never, ever, ever leave the browser. Every single thing is done in JavaScript in the browser, so there's no risk of of um, any kind of theft, privacy, or security issues. Everything stays in the browser. Okay. Now the instructions, just so you see, is up here. The reminder: paste data, choose Excel or CSV file, or for Chrome users, drag and drop. You can drag and drop. If you're using Chrome, you can drag and drop a file into those boxes. Now up here, you could put in bank or TB or TB1 or TB old. You could put in the upper left column. So, like, for example, if you're using something straight from Excel, that's, let's say, on row 4, you could put the number 4 in there. And if, let's say, it's column D, you could put column D, so that when the references come out, it will all be accurate, which is what you may want to do when you see the results. You want to map it back to the original. Okay, so enough said on that. I'm still going to go back to the sample data. I'm going to use the bank reconciliation, which I used in the very simple um, earlier video I made. I'm going to go to artificial intelligence. Again, you can see there's a yellow box around it. It's going through the steps to figure out how to apply the proper artificial intelligence. So what it did was this would be like the internal data, and this is the bank data. It just knows it. It just reads the data, and it knows that the type name is on the same on both sides. The date name, there's a date on the left, and there's a post date on the right. But it knows to match them up because they're the only date fields. So the beauty of the artificial intelligence is that you don't really have to think about what fields to match with what. It will just figure it all out. It has to figure out a sum field. That's what this is. And you can only have one sum field on each side. And what it's doing is this amount field was actually not in the original data. It was not in the original sample data, but it derived it by just doing some basic math, debit minus credit. Okay, and then it became amount. In some cases, the amount field on the right and the amount field on the left may be inverse of the other, meaning it's the negative sign, not the inverse, it's the opposite sign. I'm not sure what the math terminology is on that right now. In any case, it's the opposite sign, but it knows to switch the signs and make the signs match up so that the math will work. Okay, so enough said. That's the artificial intelligence. Oh, just a few other quick things. You can press this to shrink it so you only see the things that are important, et cetera, et cetera. Now, where this really may become important in the rare cases where you have like 8 or 9 regular fields and not that many, none of them are hidden, let's say, it could slow down the process, the power crushing process, which is coming up. So you have to use your own human intelligence to move fields that are not, or move columns that are not that important into the hidden box, so that they're not going to be analyzed because they may not be important. And sometimes Crush doesn't know that. Okay. let's just go ahead and now power crush. So what this is doing, it's going through 55 different combinations of the columns to figure out what is going to match. So just briefly, you could see here that the number 1 means the first match it found was amount and date, which is 1, and on the next one it found 2 is amount only. So you'll see that on the next one. Now you could see also that it found 365 rows, and it didn't find one more. It didn't find one. Now I am going to delete these results, and I'm going to go back just to show you how this part works. I'm going to delete that, and I'm going to go to Power Crush again. And I'm going to go to Artificial Intelligence. I'm going to resume the process, and I'm going to put in some extra columns. So you'll see that it takes a little bit longer. So I'm going to put in some columns here, even though it's not going to affect anything. I'm just putting some columns in. That means these are going to be scanned when you do the power crushing. So I'm going to go to Power Crush. And now you can see, I'm going to just pause it. Oh, it actually went too fast. But this time it did a lot more columns, combinations. Before it did 55. We'll just finish it up. Before it did 55. Now it's doing 791. It still found 365 matches. It's slightly different. I'm not sure actually how that plays out. We'll see. That's curious. In any case, that's what you can do. You can also use this button to go back and forth. You don't have to use this. This is a little faster. All right, let's go to the results summary. Well, let's go back to power crushing. All right, we're just going to go right to results summary. And now what this is doing is in, let's see, 3 columns. Three rows matched on date and memo, and the memo matched with description. I don't know what they are. I'm curious. Press detail. What's the memo? Okay, so the description matches the memo. Okay, I haven't really played with that yet. So this all matches. Okay. Here's 248 that are matching on the date and the amount. That's what we saw actually before. Here's one that matches only on the type and the amount. Oh, that's interesting. I haven't seen that. What's the type? The type is, in this case, is ignore. Let's see. Sorry, there's a type. Let's see, type and description. So it's type on the right. No, it's type on the left. Let's see. Well, type on. Yeah, exactly it. Type on the left is ETEEV, and description on the right is ETEEV. So that's a match. Okay. And now we have the 13 that are matching on amount only. Okay, so there's 8810 here. There's going to be an 8810 here. Okay. All right, so now we can use this button to close everything, and we'll see the summary again. Now, if you want sample data, you want to be able to see any of the details, so you'd have to pay for it. Okay, that's pretty standard web stuff, to pay for a few things. And the calculation, just so you know, since this is a little more detailed, the calculation is $10 plus 1 cent per matching row, with a discount for the percentage of unmatched rows. Now you can click up here to see everything on the left side and what group they fall into. And you could take this and you can save it to CSV, save it to Excel, copy it to your clipboard, and put it into Excel. So you could take this on the left side and this on the right side and match it up. Okay. You paste it into Excel, and then you have the matches. All the grouping is organized. And then if you want to see what didn't match, you can click on this, and it'll show you again the 605.56 and the 605.66, and that's a 10-cent error. So that's pretty much how it works in crusherrors.com with self-serve product. All right. I hope you have a lot of success with this.